for the kids that are absent today from class, I wanted to review number 25 from the homework. I have done it because it follows the same idea like what we learned in class before. The important thing to notice is that over here, I have two logs. There's a log over here in yellow. Here is another log over here in blue. Whenever you have two logs, what you do with two logs is you combine them. Is that right, class? Yes, you combine them. You combine them by looking at the sign that is between them. So I'm going to circle the sign that is between them. See, the circle is minus here. So you are subtracting between the yellow and the blue. That means you are going to divide the inputs. You're going to divide the input. I want to circle only the input for you to see. You're going to focus only on the input. The input is this one I'm circling over here. This is the input for the first log. That's going to be your numerator. This is the input for the second log. That's going to be your denominator. As you can see on the example I have just done, I have put the input for the numerator, that's the s squared minus 1. I've divided it by the input from the second log. I have not changed anything other than dividing them and keeping the log base 6 as only one log, and then keeping the 1 on the right side. So there should not be any big deal or any big problem with that. Now, after I have done that, I want to get rid of the log. I don't like this log. I don't like this log anymore. What I want to do is I want to write it in exponential form so that the log will not be there anymore. So you have to do the thing that we call the circle of life. This is 6 to the power of 1 will be on the right side. That's 6 to the power of 1 right there. The left side stays the same, exactly the same. I've not changed anything. S squared minus 1 over 4. Okay, the next step that I did over there is 6 to the power of 1 is just 6. Okay, that's just 6. And then I cross multiply. 4 times 6. And then this is over 1 here. And then s squared minus 1 times 1 is s squared minus 1. And now we got a simple equation that is easy to do. See, s squared minus 1 equals 24. This is a quadratic equation where it has no middle term. We can just add 1 to both sides. And then we take square root of both sides. And then we'll, take square root, and then we have two answers. Remember, we have to test. We have to test both of them. We have to check. On your test on Friday, if you don't check, you lost half of the credit. You have to check each of them. I know that if I plug in x equal to -5, it's not going to work. Actually, it worked because I square it. I take that back. See, I go back to the input. Go back to the input. -5 squared is -5 squared is 25, and then 1 is 1. So 25 minus 1 is 24. 24 is greater than 0. It's checked. And then also check the other one. X is -5. Because of the negative, we do -5 times -5. This one, you get 25. And 25 minus 1 is 24, which is more than 0. It's checked. So both solutions are good. Both are good. Okay, so the same thing you do with number 26. See, the argument is going to be divided. Dividing this argument or the input. And then you take the log, you convert to exponential equation. And then you cross multiply like I did before. And then you divide and then take square root. So the point about this is that whenever you see a minus, you're dividing. Okay. And then you would solve the quadratic equation that's involved. Now, we're going to switch to the one that is new, you have never done before, which is like number 20, number 31. No, number 31. No, these are all easy. Okay. Number 33 is the one that we have not done before. We have never done this kind of log before. Okay, if you look at number 33, what you have is log on both sides. Log on where? It says on the left side is a log, on the right side is a log. It's different from what we have been doing before. Before, both of them are on the same side. Like for example, look over here. This is log and this log on both sides. The same side. Here on different sides. Whenever you have log on different sides, you can use what is called the equality property. Equality property to solve the problem. It's just like before. Let's say an example in before. We did something like this. 2 to the power of x equals 2 to the power of 3. Guess what we did that time? Because they are the same base, right? We just say x equals 3. Get it? This is for exponent. Okay, with the same thing we're going to do for log. We say log base 9 is on both sides. Oh, that means the input must be the same then. If there's same log on both sides, only one log on left side, one log on the right side, then the input must be the same. We have to make the input equal to each other because it's the same log on both sides, just like the same base on both sides. So now the log does not matter anymore because they are the same on both sides. So the next step to this, the very, very first step to this problem is x plus 1 equals negative 4x. That's it. Because you have log on both sides, you can just drop the log and only keep the input and set them equal to one another. That is the new one we didn't go over yesterday. It was supposed to be our lesson for today. Okay, so whenever there's log on both sides, what do you do, class? Drop the log and then keep the input. Just like you drop the base and keep the exponent and set them equal to each other. Okay, that's what you do. Look at number 34. There's log 14 on both sides. On both sides of the equal sign. Okay, what are we going to do to the log? Drop it. So it will be 9 minus 5x equals 2x plus 2. Okay? And then you can solve this simple equation. Okay, I'll go back to number 30. No, let's do another one that we're going to drop the log and then go back and solve it all the way because you have to learn how to drop the log first. Okay, here's log. This log doesn't have a base. Whenever it has no base, what's the base? 10. So it's base 10 on both sides. Drop it. So you're going to have negative 9 plus 1 equals n squared plus 15. That's your step number 1. That's your step number 1. Okay, here's number 36. Here is log base 10 on both sides. We're going to do what? Drop it. Then it's 2r equals r squared minus r. Okay, now we have gone through 4 examples of just dropping the log and writing the new equation. We're going to go back now and solve the equation that we just made. So we drop the log. We don't cancel it, but we drop it. We don't write it. That's it. Never, never, never cancel it. Never do that. No, we don't do that. That's not right mathematically. We just say drop it. That's it. Okay, only keep the input. So now the input is easy. This is a simple equation that we can just solve. Like we just go ahead and put all the x's on one side, the number on one side. So add 4x to both sides. Add 4x to both sides. And then you get 5x plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1 from both sides. 5x equals negative 1. And then go ahead and divide both sides by 5. X equals negative 1/5. Okay, now negative 1/5. Now we're going to go do what? After we got our answer, what do we do? Check. Thank you. Thank you for letting me use your class. We just check it. We have to always check the input. We only check the input. Okay, so if I put negative 1/5 plus 1, that's not up to 1. So it's going to give me a positive number. It's going to be greater than 0. See, I don't have to do it. I just use reasoning. I just reason. I say, you know what? This is not up to 1. Negative 1/5 is like 0.2. It's not up to 1. So I don't need to do the work. If I add something smaller than 1 to 1, or take it away from 1, it doesn't matter. It's going to be positive. So it checks. That's okay. I check the other one. Negative 4 times negative 1/5. The negative times negative become positive. So 4/5. That's greater than 0. It also checks. So both of them check because they are greater than 0. So the answer to this problem is negative 1/5. Okay, negative 1/5. We've done it. That's it. I go to number 34 and check, finish it off. Move the 2x to both sides. And then you have, and then subtract 9 from both sides at the same time. So this is going to go away. This is going to become negative 7x. It's going to go away. It's going to become negative 7. Divide both sides by negative 7. And then x equals 1. Okay, I am not done. I need to go check the input. So I'm going to check the input first. Check. Okay, so I have 9 minus 5 times 1. That's bigger than 0 because 5. 9 minus 5 is 4, is greater than 0. So it checks. Here is another one. 2 times 1 plus 2. That's 2 plus 2, that's 4. 4 is greater than 0, it checks. So my answer is correct. Remember on Friday when you take your test, if you don't check, you lost half of the credit. But mister, I did all of them. Yeah, but you lose half of the credit for not checking because you can get a bad answer. You must check all of them. All right, this is big. It's half of the credit. Okay, I kind of told you, so if you're not here, you know exactly what I mean. All right, I'm going to do one that involves quadratic, which is number 35. All right, this one has an n square and then whatever I say, some quadratic equation is involved. Let me write it properly. I didn't write it very well, so I write it now like correctly. 9 plus 1 equals n squared plus 15. Now, this is a quadratic equation. I know it's quadratic because it has n squared, so I need to move everything to the same side where I have positive n squared. So, plus 9n minus 1 plus 9n minus 1. Okay, this is all going to become 0 on the left side. It's going to be n squared plus 9n and then plus 14. Okay, plus 14. Now, there are 3 ways to solve quadratic equation. I can solve it by factoring, by completing the square, or by using quadratic formula. So here I'm going to try to factor first. This is 14. What do you think I should use to factor 14 to get 9? Thank you for following. Good job. Thank you for helping me with my video over there. I'm going to do n plus 7 and n plus 2. Good job, Isabella. Thank you. So now, what is x going to be? Negative 7 and negative 2. 0 equals, no, well, s equals negative 7 and negative 2. So n rather. N equals negative 7 or n equals negative 2. Guess what we're going to do now? Check. That's half of the credit. Check. Okay, we're going to check it. I'm going to check the input. Check. Okay, I'm going to go to negative 9 times negative 7 plus 1. That's going to be 63 plus 1 is more than 0. Okay, it checks. I go to the second one. Negative 7 squared. Negative 7 squared. I'm checking this other input. I have to check each of the input by the numbers. Oh, I need to go back and make sure I restate that in a better way. There are 2 logs. And there are 2 answers. That means I'm going to check the first one, the first answer with the 2 logs. And then go back and check the second answer with the 2 logs. So I'm going to do 4 checks. It's a lot of work, I know, but we have to do all of them. That's the way the mathematicians do it. Okay, so I've checked negative 7 with the first input. I'm going to check negative 7 with the second input. That's what I was trying to do over here. Okay, you have to do 4 checks. But mister, it's a lot of work, I know it. 49 plus 15 is greater than 0. It's a positive number, it checks. Okay, then I do the second check now. Take the second number and check it. Negative 9 times negative 2 plus 1 is 18 plus 1 is 19, is greater than 0, it checks. Negative 2 squared plus 15 is also greater than 0. It also checks. So both answers check. So the answer will be negative 7 and negative 2. That's the final answer to that. You always have to check both of them. I want to do one that is the last one for the video. So these are the same thing. We drop the log. We drop the log, write the input, set them equal to each other, solve by factoring, drop the log. All right, until we get to number 43 is different now from everybody. 43 is crazy. It has 2 logs on one side and log on the other side. Guess what we're going to do to the left side? We'll make 1 log. Make 1 log. We're going to make 1 log here. This 1 log. So 1 log. We're going to multiply. Thank you, Kevin. We're going to multiply them. So x times x plus 10 So I'm going to combine this with this by multiplication because it's plus. Equals log base 6 of 11. All right. Now I am going to multiply this. Log base 6 of x squared plus 10x equals log base 6 of 11. We're happy now. You see, you have log base 6 on the left, log base 6 on the right. Guess what we're going to do to the log? Drop it. And then write only what is left. The idea is this. You can never drop it unless you have combined them. You have only one on the left, one on the right, then you're ready to combine to drop it. If not, don't drop it. You can never drop individual like that. No. You have to combine them. You have to combine them using the property. A common error that students make is this. Let me make an error here. They do this. They do, drop the log. No, that's not here. I'm going to show you the error here. This is a common error. They just say, drop the log. No, don't do that. They do this. They do this equals 12 minus x plus 3. That's totally wrong. You don't drop the log unless you have only one log on the left, one log on the right. So whenever it's two logs on the left or two logs on the right, you have to combine them first. This one is going to be by what? This is a subtraction. By how do you combine them here? Division. So I tell you, the previous test kids makes mistake from here because they are trying to drop the log without combining first. You must combine first before you drop the log. You use the sign to let you know what to do. This sign tells you you're adding, that means you're multiplying. The sign says subtracting, you're dividing the inputs before you drop the log. You can never drop the log unless you make it only one log. Now we're ready to drop the log. It's going to be x plus 2 equals 12 over x plus 3. Okay, I think I'm going to focus on doing this because you have never seen the one with division. All right, here is the one with the division on both one side. Okay, we're going to go back to the 7th grade thing that we do where we cross multiply, always cross multiply like that, cross multiply. So we're going to cross multiply x plus 2 times x plus 3 equals 12. 1 times 12. Whenever you see fractions stacked like that, you cross multiply. Like I did before, one of the problems is involving division, you cross multiply. Now I'm ready to kind of multiply this. If you do your box with this, it will be x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 12. Subtract 12 from both sides. X squared plus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Now you can factor this to be x. What? Help me, I don't know. I'm lost. No, I want to get negative 6. Minus 2 and that was, I want 5. That will not work. This is a negative 6. That will be a negative 5. Negative 1 and 6. Thank you, Kevin, again. So now I can set this to 0, x equals 1, or s equals negative 6. We have just done 1/2 of the work. What's the other half? Check. Thank you. Okay. After you've done check for so many of these, you're going to be part of your mind. You're going to be like, this is log, I check it. Now I'm going to check. There are 2 answers. I'm going to do how many checks? 4 checks because there are 2 answers and there are 2 logs. Actually, yeah, 2 logs. Okay, we are lucky this one doesn't have a variable. It will have been 2 answers with 3 logs. That will be 6 checks. What? Yes. Yeah, but this one has no variable, so we don't need to check it. I will show you the one with 6 checks later on. My helper will do check. 6 of them are checked. Good. All right. So let's do check. Over here we're going to only check this one and only this one because it has variables. Okay, let's go with s equals 1. We're going to check s equals 1. So when s equals 1, it will be 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3 is greater than 0. Check. That's good. I check the other one. 1 plus 3 is also greater than 0. Check. Okay, good. I go to second answer now. Negative 6 plus 2. Oops, that's not greater than 0. That's less than 0. Bad. Not good. That's bad. It's going to be a negative 4. Negative 4 is less than 0. Negative 4 is less than 0, so it's not valid. Not valid. Okay, not valid. I go to check again the second one. Negative 6 plus 3. That's going to be negative 3. That's less than 0. That's not valid either. So it's not valid. Actually, I don't need to waste my time. It's not valid with 1, then it's out. But just for the sake of clarifying it, you need to check both of them. All right, now I'm going to write my final answer. My final answer is the only one I put inside the curly bracket. It's the only one that worked. If you put 2 of them, you're wrong. Only one answer is the one that worked. That's the only one I will put there.
So you get the whole question wrong?
No, you miss points there for not putting the only one that is working. Okay, so basically, I have gone through most of this problem with you. Here, you combine the log by multiplication, and then you drop it after that. Here, what do you do over here? Combine by what? By multiplication, right? And then you drop it. And then here you combine by multiplication. So I kind of gave you almost the same thing. Yeah. And then you're ready for your test on Friday. Okay, so if there's anything that you guys don't get, you can just come talk to me individually and say, Mister, I don't get this. I've gone through over every single problem you might possibly encounter. So wish you good luck. And make sure you get high on math, okay?